Where do I begin? Last week was probably one of the absolute craziest, most exhausting, most incredible, terrifying, new, wonderful weeks of my life. So as you might know, I had my sport week last week, which was Monday to Friday with my class. I met my class in the train station, and then we took the train to Steiermark, which was the region that we were staying in Austria. The trains here are pretty cool. I know that it's like sort of just a part of life here, but for a Canadian, taking the train in Europe for the first time is a pretty big deal. If you want to imagine what the trains look like, just imagine every Harry Potter movie that you have seen and take out the Dementors, and you have the trains in Europe. So we took the train, then we took a bus, and we got to this cool hotel, hostel, elm type thing. I really have no idea what to call it. It was like kind of like a hotel, but also with a bit of a camp atmosphere. So I was sharing a room with 3 other girls, and then we also ate in the place we were staying, and they had a bunch of cool outdoor activities for us there, which was really nice. The first day we got there, we did archery. I've done archery a few times before, but there were some jokes that I had Canadian instincts that would somehow make me really good at archery. I think I did okay. I was a vegetarian for a long time, so the idea of shooting little animals in the head was kind of not really my thing. They were fake animals, but I don't know, it still feels weird. And then the next day after that, we went rafting, which was so cool. I've always wanted to go rafting, and so it was a really cool experience for me. We went and took a bus to this big river, and all the instructions were in German, so thankfully I had some translators. While we were rafting, it was raining, so it was pretty cold, but my mind was so focused on the intense river and rafting. It was really nice rafting because when you're doing physical activity, suddenly the language barrier is gone, and you know, we all have to work as a team to row, and you kind of just mold into a team, and there's no, oh, Nicole doesn't understand because she doesn't speak German. All of a sudden we're all just working together and having fun together. And then the next day we went to it translates to climbing garden, but it's like a high ropes course, so it's all of these big obstacle type things up the top of super high trees. I will post a picture right now. So I am a little bit afraid of heights. I'm not so much afraid of heights, but I am afraid of falling from great heights. So the idea of having to support myself up in the top of these insane trees and then knowing that I will probably fall was a little scary. It was actually really fun, and we did some zip lines and stuff. I definitely surprised myself with my ability to be at least somewhat mediocre-ish with the high ropes, so that was pretty cool. My friend and I definitely did not think it was a really good idea to go onto the highest course that is meant for like the top-notch high rope athletes, and I definitely did not get stuck in the middle of it and then have to be lowered to the ground. That did not happen, because if it did, why would I be telling the internet? I got stuck. Even though maybe that day ended not so good, I was laughing the whole time because somewhere in the middle of not understanding what people are saying and being stuck in a harness in the top of this like insane high ropes course in the middle of the trees in Austria, you realize that doesn't really matter. Like, obviously things matter, but I mean, it's not about the situation where I'm stuck in the middle of the trees, but it was about the fact that I was having fun. I was doing something way outside of my comfort zone, and I don't know, I just was kind of living my life, and so that was probably actually one of my highlights of my exchange so far. And then the next day we went to this little lake. It was like a man-made lake thing, and we made some rafts out of these big plastic water barrels and long like pieces of hardwood and ropes and stuff like that, and then we took it around the little man-made lake, which was pretty fun. I should really never go into a raft building profession. And we ate lunch there and then went geocaching in the afternoon. On Friday, packed up all of my stuff and I took the train with my classmates partway back to Innsbruck, and then I got off the train and took another train to Bad Mittendorf. It's actually pretty funny when I was taking the train because it is the first time I have taken a train alone ever. The way that the trains were working was I got off the train on one side of the platform that my whole class was on, so they could all see me out the window, and there was a train on the other side of the platform that I was like 60% sure was mine, but I didn't want to get on it if my whole class was watching from across the platform, and I also didn't want to miss it if it was my train, so I was kind of like standing there looking at my phone and looking at the schedule and staring at the train, and there was this conductor guy at the other end giving me like strange points towards the train. So finally he walked over and I asked in German if the train was going to the station I needed it to go to, and he said, oh yeah, and he opened the door for me, got me inside, and it was okay. And the train was a lot smaller than the one that I had taken with my class, so I didn't really know how to get off of it once it was at my stop. So I was like trying all of the doors and I didn't like understand how to get off of it. And then finally I opened the door and I was so scared for whatever reason that the train was going to just start going while I was getting off and I'd have to like tuck and roll off of the train. So I threw my bag out and then I leaped out after it and definitely was like this close to face planting. And the same guy who had been awkwardly pointing at the train for me was now watching me as I fell off of the train. I got to Bad Mittendorf at about 12 o'clock, and all the other exchange students were scheduled to come at 4 o'clock. There was a garden store and a technical supply store and a tiny one-room train station. And then another exchange student wonderfully, gloriously descended off of a train, and then more started coming around 2:30, and we all took a bus up to the Elm that we were staying in, and an Elm is like a mountain hut type thing. So on Friday we sort of just socialized a little bit, and then on Saturday we woke up to the extreme fog and cold and promise of a 7-hour hike. I actually was pretty excited because I love hiking and my inner Canadian refuses to ever admit that it is too cold for me to do something. Instead of the hike that we planned on doing, we did a 4-hour hike. You kind of learn on exchange that it's not always about what you're doing, it's about the people that you're with a lot of the time. On Saturday night, we were told that we were going to a disco. It ended up just being the exchange students in a room rocking it out to some music, which was still really fun because exchange students are crazy people. We walked to the disco by torchlight, which was really cool. Then we took this cute little train back to our Elm and spent the night, and then Sunday morning had to pack again. We had some orientation type things and then some sad goodbyes. And then I took the train back to Innsbruck. I took it with other exchange students heading back our direction, so it was pretty fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed everything last week. It definitely made me grow a lot on this exchange. Being alone with people who are speaking German all the time really puts you outside of your comfort zone. But, you know, it really makes you just step so much further out of what you ever thought you were comfortable with. I did things last week that I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined having the opportunity of doing, or imagine myself doing voluntarily. Thank you to everybody in my class who has been so patient with me and so incredible and welcoming. So here are some pictures. Goodbye, thank you, you are an incredible person.
Everybody wants to flame, they don't want to get burned. And today is our turn. Days like these lead to nights like this, lead to love like ours. You light the spark in my bonfire heart. People like us, we don't need that much. Just someone that starts the spark in our bonfire hearts. This world is getting colder, strangers passing by. No one offers you a shoulder, no one looks you in the eye. But I've been looking at you for a long